Hello, hello, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Listen, I am as you can see in a different space today. Um for various reasons. But I want to welcome you guys. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I want to talk to you guys today really quickly about launching. And no matter, and everyone thinks launching is usually about new businesses, someone with an idea, someone has an idea that they want to get put out into the world. And a lot of times it's very difficult to know how to properly launch. It's easy to launch. It's easy to put something out there and let people know that you have a solution to their problem. But sometimes a lot of you are in situations where you're relaunching, or you're coming up with a new idea, or you're even rebranding, or you're leveraging what you've already created. And so there's lots of different strategies and tips. I mean, there's thousands. I was doing some research and just kind of looking at what are other people saying about launching, right? And there's tons of information out there. So the information that I'm going to share with you guys today is very, very, very general. But what I would love for you to take from this is knowing that no matter what, you still have to create a custom plan. So I'm just going to share four easy, what I call easy, kind of like the very first things we should do and think about. And some of them you may have heard before, especially if you've been an entrepreneur. If you're very new to this and this is something brand new, then this is going to be highly, highly, highly enlightening. But what I'll also do is kind of add some strategy and suggestions and tips in there as well for those of you who are already, been an entrepreneur, but you're looking to launch something new and you're like, okay, how do I do that if I've been doing this for so long? Because to be quite honest with you, I'm in that same space. Like, as I shared with you guys before, if you've been listening, hopefully this isn't your first time here and you've been listening, you know that I'm in a space now where I'm releasing one of my businesses, which is my book publishing company, so that I can make room for a speaking career. Like, I want to speak. I want to do more of this. This is why I'm here. I'm, to be honest with you guys, I'm practicing. I'm in pre-launch mode. I'm practicing, how to share stories, how to connect with my audience, how to, make that eye contact, how to be fun and how to be engaging, so I'm in pre-launch mode. And I think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs tend to forget. You have to pre-launch. There's a lot of stuff that you do before you introduce what you do to the world. And again, it depends where you are. So it's going to be extremely difficult for me to just share, because I know I have a lot of different types of entrepreneurs, watching and viewing this. So take what I'm saying into where you are and apply it. So I always say, listen, I don't care. I know this is like the tedious stuff that a lot of people don't like to do, and that is research and development. Now personally, me, I have taken business classes. I took business classes at the what is it called? The college level before you go to real college, the 2-year college. I can't remember what it's called, but I took business classes at the 2-year, I forget what it's called, y'all, level. And then when I was at Howard University, I took a business intro to business class. And the very first thing which caught my attention and I absolutely love, was the planning and the research. Okay. Because it's easy to say, oh, well, my people are always coming to me because they see, this gift. They see that I have a talent. Like, people, always tell me that I have a talent to decorate. I can't just launch, you know what I'm saying? I have to research the market. I have to see, what type of people are looking for the type of services that I offer. What are, we heard this a million times. What are their pain points? What is it costing them as a result of not hiring me specifically to solve their problem for them? So that research and development is so crucial. And I understand that it's easy to say, well, people are always asking me for advice. People are always asking me to help them with these particular things. And that's amazing. That's great. That's where your gift lies. That's what you want to build upon. So you're on the right step. Even if you're transitioning into another area in your business, you're on the right track when you're utilizing your gifts. Because as an entrepreneur, you have to be doing something that you 110% absolutely love, because it's going to get tough, especially during the launch season, unless you properly apply some of these tips that I'm sharing with you all today. So research, like, truly, truly know what's going on, in your market, not what you see on social media, because what you see on social media is flawed. It's not all the way true. So your customer could be, somewhere else. Your customer could be on the golf course. Your customer could be anywhere. So I have to really say research and development, because that will help you create what I consider another important factor, which is very customized, is your story. Every brand needs a story. Okay, I'm not talking about some storybook story, some fairy tale story, but what is your story? What brought you here? How is your audience going to be able to connect with you? And this is online, offline, whatever you're doing, it has to be a connection. And this is why I always encourage my clients when they are getting ready to build their website and build out their bios and things like that. Even though building a website, y'all, is not the very first thing you have to do it, unless you're selling products and then you need a landing page, et cetera, et cetera. But sometimes the website is one of the last things you have to do, because the main thing is getting someone to pay you for the service that you offer. The main thing is maybe volunteering and working and not getting paid for the service that you want to offer. Even myself, I've been an entrepreneur over, it's been a long time. I know it's well over 23 years. And as I'm shifting into another area of my company where I'm leveraging the brand that I've already built, I'm seriously considering working for free for someone, or at least showing them that I can do the job that I said I was going to do, right? Example, I was in the process of hiring a publicist. And in that process, when I was in the decision-making process, he booked me for a media appearance, right? So he was showing me, hey, this is what I can do, because I know this is a hard decision. I understand it's a heavy investment, but I want to show you, right, that I can do the job. And so, but what he did was he researched my brand and he aligned me with the perfect opportunity that was in alignment with what my goals are. So as an entrepreneur, these are the things that you'll have to do. So going back to the story, what is that story that's going to connect to your audience? And there's a book that I recommend in my book called Brand Story. It's by a guy, I think his name is Robin Miller, I believe. Check that book out. It's called Building Your Brand Story. That's the name of the book. You can get it at Amazon, anywhere. It's a bestseller. It's a fabulous book, and it literally takes you through a method of how to establish your brand as a story. A story is just a quick, I started my business because I'm or for me, mine would be, I feel like it is my purpose. If I had to do my short pitch, my purpose to be a part of the change I want to see in the world. I understand that Black families did not get the education that many other non-melanated communities receive. And so I want to be a part of the wealth generation building through entrepreneurship. And that's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that maybe you or someone who wants to invest in my brand or someone who wants to share my brand to someone else, that's a quick and easy story, right, that they can tell, right? Or I can go into another story. You got to have stories. I can share many stories about, coming from incarceration and building myself up from that, or even utilizing the skills that I learned from the streets, the mindset, the marketing, the positioning, the promotion, and what I learned from that and how I use it now in building my brand and also applying it to other people. So that's important. What is your story? That is so important when you're considering launching or even relaunching or leveraging into something different, right? Something different. So, and I want to share this because I'm in this space right now. And I know many of us are, because things are different. Things are changing. Things are shifting. We have AI here now that we have to learn. Like, listen, that's one of those things where you can't say, I'm not doing that. I don't want no parts of that. As an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to tap into some of these new things. Some of them are not trends. Some of them are trends, right? You look at TikTok and you look at the things, you see things that aren't going to be here for a long time, right? But then you look at artificial intelligence as an entrepreneur and you're like, okay, hold on. This can help me save time. So research that, get involved. How are your ideal customers, tapped into what's coming? That's why research is so important. So I cannot stress enough to research. And this is the very first, I'm talking about the very first thing that we do when we work with our brand management clients is research, because we got to know. I got to know what's going on, because if I got to pitch you, if I got to close a deal for you, if I got to introduce you to someone and connect you to someone that can help your business grow, I need to know everything I need to know about your market and you and your story. So that's so important when it comes to launching. One of the first things that I think is important, again, there's so many different things, and yours may be different as far as when you do it, is it first, is it second, is it third, whatever. But I just feel like it's definitely one of the top, really one of the top two, is researching and having a story. Then from there really is now just kind of putting together this strategic process that makes sense for you. Does it have to be a full out, conservative business plan? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I feel that the most important thing that entrepreneurs need when they're in the launch phase is a marketing and sales plan. A marketing, sales, and financial plan, right? I could do a whole talk on financial planning, which I think I will next Tuesday, right? Because a business is a business, right? So there's has to be numbers involved. There has to be number. Like, okay, I just had a conversation with my cousin. We went to brunch on Sunday, and she was saying, I know I need money to make money. And I'm like, yeah, but not necessarily, right? Not necessarily. What you have to establish is, first of all, if you feel like, okay, I need money to make money, right? Okay, maybe, right? Of course, right? We need money. We need cash flow. We need money to grow, right? So, okay. So establish how much that is, right? Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we have these great ideas because we're creatives, but the analytical side of launching is very difficult for a lot of us. So plan out what that number is. So what I shared with her was, how much money do you need, right? Like what's the amount of money that you need? You say you need money, how much is it? So let's just say it's 20,000. Okay, so now we get into entrepreneurial mindset and we look at, what do I need to do to make 20,000? Not I'm gonna sit here and wait and twiddle my thumbs and go to every conference and mastermind and workshop and read every book that I can't know. We're not doing that. We're strategically looking at what we have in our hand already that we can leverage, right, to bring in that 20,000. So if you know you need 20,000, then guess what? You go look. This is just one, again, listen, this don't have to be your plan, but because I understand what you do is completely different. But I'm just giving you an example that hopefully you can apply to your business, right? So in that example, then you say, okay, since I want to be an event planner, I need to partner and I need to know people who own event venues. Why? Because they already have access. They already have access to my customer, right? Or I can be a good asset to them. A lot of times in entrepreneurship, we think we got to do it all. We don't. We can literally bring our gift and be the second person, be the second fiddle, which is fine. Be the second fiddle to someone else. Come in and partner and work under them. It's okay to do that, y'all. I know we want to be the boss, we want to be the mogul. We want to, you know what I'm saying? I get it, because it's this persona around it, but you're still the boss. You're still the mogul, right? It's still you and your idea and your gifts and talent. You're just now meshing those and marrying those with another entrepreneur who's already been in the game and has access, especially if you have a gift. So go and build those relationships. And look, because event halls, just naturally, people come in and want to use their space for whatever. And a lot of times they don't have event planners already, but guess who they can refer? You understand what I'm saying? Guess what? So then you figure out your price. It's numbers, y'all. It's numbers. It's the strategic planning. Then you figure out your price. Do not launch without a financial plan. Don't launch knowing how much money you must make and then what your goal is. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you why in a moment. So then now that next step is okay. All right. So if I need to make 20,000 and my price is, my estimated price, because every event's different, is around, I'll make, $500 or $1,000 per event, per thing that I do. Then now you know how many of those that you have to. Guess what? It didn't cost you nothing but some gas money. It didn't cost you nothing but time to pick up this phone and make some phone calls. And maybe it cost you taking somebody to lunch or brunch or dinner or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like, really look into, how can I make money in my business without spending any? Because especially if you don't have none, right? If you don't, it's like, okay, a lot of us have bootstrap from nothing, utilizing the money you make from your job. Melanated people, our families aren't, in general, giving us. It's changing now, but in my generation, my mama wasn't giving me no money to start a business, and she had it. She wasn't giving me no money to start no business. I had to do what I had to do. I had to form partnerships with other people to build these brands and businesses. So the next part is making sure that your launch makes sense on a numbers basis, and then having a bona fide marketing strategy that really works for you. And again, I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult to come up with a marketing strategy because you don't know where to start. You don't know where to begin. But let me tell you something. Google is a great place to start. At least reading books is a great place to start. And again, I'm talking about really if you don't have the money to invest in hiring a coach or a marketing team, okay? Because a lot of, as entrepreneurs, many of you, myself included, it's just us. We have to learn certain things, or maybe you partner with someone who's a great marketer. Whatever the case may be, you have to have a strategic marketing plan, so you know what you're doing, so that you know where you're going to show up, where your customer is, what you're going to say, what your message is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And again, I know I'm speaking to the choir. I know a lot of you guys do this, but it's still important to know that, no, you don't need the full plan, but what's the process? What's the sales process? What is that going to look like for my customer? And then to branch off of that, and when you're launching, is to always remember that it is totally 100% about the customer. That's it. Everything that you do, even when you talk about your bio, I didn't finish talking about that. When I was saying about my customers and when they're building their websites, and I'm advising them on, writing a bio. I don't like the bio where you start out with all your certifications and where you went to college and all that, because that has nothing to do with where your customer wants to be. It has nothing to do with the solution you provide for your customer. You have to connect instantly with your customer from the very first sentence. So your bio or your story should be, so and so, insert your name, has helped 3,000, whoever your customer is, and then the solution that you've solved for the problem that they have. That should be the first thing when I read your bio. That, right? That should be the first thing, because you have to connect first with your customer. Always remember, every single thing you do is about your customer. So the strategic planning, the market research, the stories that you're creating, all has to be structured around the customer, period, point blank. And even with myself, I noticed that as I'm growing as a brand and as a woman, as a human, I tend to also forget, because I'm sharing my story, I'm sharing my journey, because I want to inspire people, and I want them to be inspired by the journey, so that they too can know that they can come from nothing. They can come from not having anything or losing everything like I did, and rebuild themselves, right? But I have to remember where they are, where my ideal customer is right now. What are they frustrated with right now? So my story some of the stories that I share may not be inspiring them to move forward. They may be inspired, but they're not empowered to take action to do business with me, or to hire me to be the one to solve that problem. So I too have to be very conscious of the stories that I'm sharing and making sure that everything is structured around where my customer is right now, right? Where they are at this moment in their lives, and being the source to get them over wherever they are right now, that valley, that pit, that mud, where they are right now, and tap into that. And again, I'm not going to sit up here and act like that's easy to do. It's not, but you can with reading, with research, with tapping into stuff like this, getting that money, going back to that financial plan, and saying, hey, I need 20,000. Maybe I hope that some of that 20,000 is into you, for you to invest in your personal and business development. You get what I'm saying? So hiring the team, hiring the coach, hiring the strategist, hiring the brand manager, investing in a high level mastermind, getting the support you need, because you do have to continually, invest in those things. So in the launch phase, you guys, these are the things that I think are the most important. And then again, then the last part, again, with any launch, I think, is partnering. I really think it's important to do. I just shared something in my story the other day about how, basically, who says this too? I didn't say this in my story, but one of my clients and a good friend of mine, his name is Rob YB Youngblood, and he talks about collaboration being the new currency. It's not new, and I love his slogan, and he's right. But it's not new. Collaboration has always been currency. It's just, we have this mindset that we want to do it ourselves. You know how many people I meet that want to start a nonprofit organization, and there's on their own, and there's thousands of other organizations in the world that's doing the exact same thing. If your heart is in serving, if your heart, you know what I'm saying, why wouldn't you just join the board of another thriving nonprofit organization and be a part in that growth, and serve the community? But we have this mindset that we want to do it ourselves. We want it to be ours. We want to be the boss. We got to get out of that, when it comes to utilizing our gifts and building brands and things like that, and doing the things that we love. We got to get out of that a little bit. But back to my point, partnerships, connection. I'm glad I wrote it down, because I would have forgot. But partnership is so vital. And you don't have to partner with a whole bunch of people. Sometimes it's just one or two people, just the partnering and connecting and collaborating, even if it's just someone you can use as a referral base. And so, and it's not, again, I'm not going to sit up here and try to act like entrepreneurship and launching and building a business is easy. It takes time. And that's one of the things that you have to consider in the launch phase, the relaunch phase, the leveraging, wherever you are in your business. Always think about the long game, okay? The very first thing I do is I find out from people where they want to be 1 year, 3 year, 5 years from now, so we can start working backwards, okay? So if this is where you want to be, what do we got to do today to get you there? And so knowing where you want to be is also very, very important. Knowing where your customer wants to be is way more important, way more important. So do that, and it'll be easier for you. Say, hey, if you're launching your book, right, tap into 10 people personally know, that you have a good relationship with. Send them a text, say, hey, would you mind sharing this today to your text, to your group text, or would you mind sending this to your email list today? Would you mind, whatever. Hey, let's get together, let's talk about. I just reached out to some lady that I really admire. We're not friends, but we're acquaintances, we're entrepreneurs, and we've done a couple. She came to my mastermind, and we've built a relationship, right? And she was like, hey, I want to talk to you about partnering to do something. You know, hey, I'm always interested in that. And people will be interested in your idea too, because as an entrepreneur, we want to grow, we want to connect, we want to help people, we want to be part of something, the change that we want to see in the world somehow, whether that's bringing joy, whether that's bringing peace, whether that's bringing purpose, whether that's transforming lives through entertainment, through your candles, through your talks, whatever you want to collaborate with other people. So other people will definitely want to collaborate with you. So these are just the general 4 tips that I have that I think for me, when it comes to launching, are something that you definitely want to shine a light on and pay very, 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 very close attention to. So I really hope this has been valuable, and I'm just going to continue showing up to support you guys in this way every Tuesday at 8 a.m. I'm thinking about changing it to 9 a.m. because I am not a morning person. See, I got my coffee right here, which I have not even sipped on yet. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm not my brightest this early in the morning. This is early for me. This is early for me because I mean I got to get up by 7:15 to be ready for you guys. So I may be shifting it to 9 a.m. I don't know, but thank you guys for showing up live. Thank you for watching on YouTube for those, because I do put some of these on my YouTube channel. So I appreciate you guys, and keep hustling. And yes, you do have to hustle. Yes, you do have to hustle. Keep hustling. Nothing is going, when you're starting out, you're launching into new areas or launching a new idea, nothing is going to come with ease and flow. I know that's the new thing. I get it. And it sounds cute, but it takes a long time before you can get into this ease and flow in your business. You have to hustle. You have to work your behind off. You have to make sacrifices. You have to be stressed out. You have to have sleepless nights. I'm sorry. That's just what it is for those who attain success. I'm sorry. That's just part of the process. And we're not talking about that enough. We're promoting ease and flow. And I get it. I love ease and flow. And yes, it does become easier and it flows better after you've hustled, after you've been grinding, after you've been doing all that hard stuff. It does get easier. But when you're launching that new idea you have, when you're putting together a plan to leave your job so you can't work full time, which so many people are doing, when you're looking like, you know what, it's time, a very, very high influencer reached out to me. She's like, look, I'm ready to level up. I need you to help me get these 6-figure contracts. You get, that's leveling up. Like, okay, I've been doing this and this is cool, right? But now, you know what I'm saying? Now it's time to level up. So guess what? It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna flow. But she's doing the right thing by hiring somebody to help her. So thank you guys so much. I hope that this has been beneficial. Send me a shout out, tag me on social media, hashtag tip on this Tuesday, and please tag me and share your insight and your aha moments. And I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.